The ceiling light above me flickered like it couldn't decide if I was worth illuminating. 3 weeks since the crash. 3 weeks since my car folded in half against a truck that shouldn't have been there. The doctor said I was lucky to be alive. I didn't feel lucky. No one came. Not her, not even once. At first I made excuses for her. Maybe she was overwhelmed. Maybe the hospital terrified her. Maybe she thought I needed space. But then came the phone call. I dialed her number with trembling hands, IV lines tugging against my wrist. Her voice, sharp and impatient, sliced through the static. "I don't have time for this, Daniel. You can't just ruin your life and expect me to fix it." I told her I wasn't asking for anything. I just wanted to hear her. "Then hear this," she said, her tone icy. "You're broke. Broken. A loser. I don't have the time or money to babysit your self-pity." Then the line went dead. She never knew. She never knew about the inheritance. $329 million. Signed, sealed, waiting. And she walked away before the ink was dry. The nurses said I was healing fast. They didn't see the rot spreading inside me. I replayed her words like a confession caught on tape. The contempt in her tone, the exhaustion in the way she said my name. And then, 5 days later, she came. Not alone. He was with her. Younger, taller, the kind of man who still smiled at his reflection. His hand was on her back as if she belonged to him. Maybe she did. She laughed when she saw me, actually laughed. "God, Daniel," she said, "you look awful." I stared at her, at the woman who'd shared my bed, my life, my plans. She smirked. "You really thought I'd sit around waiting for you to get your act together?" I didn't answer. I didn't need to. The room filled with something else, something colder than silence. He looked uneasy. His eyes darted between us. He tried to smile, but it trembled. And then it happened. He turned pale. His mouth fell open. "Oh my God," he whispered. "He's my—" She grabbed his arm, pulled him toward the door. But it was too late. I saw it in his eyes. Recognition. Something that shouldn't have been possible. I started connecting threads from my hospital bed. Names, dates, photographs. When you've got time and quiet, you start to see patterns you ignored before. The business trips that ran too long. The unexplained calls after midnight. The way she'd flinch when I asked where she'd been. I pulled my phone from the drawer, logged into the cloud, and scrolled through the forgotten files. Old receipts, shared locations, synced messages. She'd been careful, but not enough. Her lover, Ethan Ward, a marketing consultant, married once, divorced twice. 2 sons, one who vanished at birth. She must have thought I'd never find that article, the one about the adoption papers being sealed due to privacy concerns. But I knew a lawyer who owed me a favor. A few quiet conversations later, the truth began to breathe through the cracks. Ethan's missing child. Male, born 28 years ago. Hospital, Brookvale General. My birth certificate, Brookvale General. Same day, same hour. And suddenly, his reaction in that hospital room made sense. He wasn't my wife's new husband. He was my father, the man who'd abandoned me before I could even speak. And she, the woman who claimed to love me, had married him. The DNA results arrived in a thin white envelope. 2 swabs, 2 signatures, a 99.98% match. Father and son. I read the report once, folded it carefully. Then I called her. "Dinner," I said. "One last time." She agreed. Curiosity, perhaps, or arrogance. When she walked into the restaurant, she looked radiant, polished, rehearsed. The kind of beauty that thrives on deceit. He followed behind her. Ethan, my father. We sat, ordered wine, spoke in polite nothings. Then I placed the envelope on the table. "You left this at the hospital," I said softly. She frowned. "What is it?" "Proof." She opened it. Her smile died slowly, like a flame suffocated by air. He read it next. His hand began to shake. "This isn't true?" I interrupted. "No, it's worse than that. It's yours." She looked at him in horror. He couldn't meet her eyes. In that moment, everything I'd lost returned. Not as love, but as clarity. I leaned back, calm, composed, every word measured. "You married your son's wife, Ethan. She married her husband's father. You both built a house of lies, and I was the foundation." She gasped. He froze. "Daniel, please." "No, don't beg, not now." The waiter approached with the bill. I slipped my black card into the folder, the one tied to my new account, the inheritance account. She noticed the name. Her lips parted in disbelief. $329 million, I said, watching her eyes widen. "I was coming home to tell you that night." Her face drained of color. You chose him," I said, "over everything." Ethan buried his face in his hands. I stood, left the papers on the table. "You can keep the lies," I said. "They're all you ever owned." Then I walked away. No raised voices, no scene. Just the slow, clean sound of everything breaking behind me. The hospital called later that week. Ethan had checked himself in. Mental collapse, they said. She'd vanished, sold her jewelry, left no address. It didn't matter. The money sat untouched. It wasn't about wealth anymore. It never was. I walked through my empty house, the walls echoing back fragments of a life that was never real. She had taught me the cost of trust. He had taught me the value of silence. Now I understood both. I sat by the window, watching the rain carve lines down the glass. The city hummed below, oblivious, alive. For the first time in years, I felt still, complete. Not because I'd won, but because I finally stopped needing to. I closed my eyes and let them drown in their own truth. Love had been my greatest illusion. The truth, my quiet revenge.